Well, hello yet again, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back to Raptoria. Workers and Resources Soviet Republic continues as we build our republic yet again. Alright, so there's been some more updates to the game. In our previous save of completing the warehouse and the path through have been corrupted, and so I quickly went ahead and rebuilt some things here in order to make our nation even more glorious. Hopefully this doesn't happen as much, so that way I can bring you more of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. I had to kind of redesign things from a previous save, so I've added some more farm fields. Our food factory is here, as well as the well, actually, the farm and the food factory are here, as well as some homes to support with the workers. We have some grocery stores as well. We have 2 stores here, but we're going to have more here for a new neighborhood that's going to support that, as well as schools and such. So, welcome back. It is good to have you all here as we continue on with our journey of building our wonderful and glorious Raptorian Republic. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and hit start then. Oh boy, I hope this does well. I think the only thing that I can save from now is autosave, so hopefully going forward we don't have any issues. I put it on more frequent autosave, so if we have to go back, hopefully it's not too far, but at least we get to see it build over and over again. Alright, well, we've got all of our apartment buildings here, some football stadiums like right next to gigantic wheat fields, and we've already got some wheat fields that are in the midst of growing, so we should see a lot of progress here very soon. Last time we left off, we just completed like a few homes and the farm fields themselves, but these are actually growing a little bit, and as you can see, we've added quite a few small fields, large fields, and so it should be a 24/7 job for all of these people in order to get all these fields planted and to have all those crops grow. As soon as we move people in, that'll only be after we've started to produce crops and such. Hopefully we don't have too much trouble here connecting the warehouse. Otherwise, I'm going to cry. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to connect these 2 up so that way food or crops can be delivered directly to the food factory, and then food is going to be delivered up here to the rail yard, and it looks like the lumber yard is next door to it as well, but we'll probably get rid of that eventually. And we'll start buying logs from the west in order to turn it into planks to make more money. Soon enough, it should be a lucrative deal for our trading, but what we will do too is we'll add some junctions and get another rail car up, but that'll take some time. First we'll wait until we get our glorious warehouse gloriously full of glory. Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can connect these 2. Please let it happen. Jesus, please. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, looks like it works. Whew, that was a make or break moment, I think, for our empire if we could not build that there. Alright, well, we've got some nice trees planted. Most things seem to be connected via footpaths. People should be able to go to the grocery stores and whatnot, and looks like there's already some people over here doing some business. We may as well just open it up then. I'm going to go ahead and start buying food from the west until we've got our grocery store up and running to be self-sufficient from our own food plant. We'll have to get a slaughterhouse and some things going there too. So I guess we'll go ahead and let these people work here. We won't need too many workers here. Let me make sure I confirm the purchase of that. Really, in these stores, there's not I don't think people come as quickly for food, or rather for electronics, as they do for food. So I'm going to go ahead and bop these down to like 3 workers maximum on these. There's really no need to have like 5 people even working there. So that should help to make sure that we've only got a certain number of people in those facilities. We also have another kindergarten over here, which is basically like a giant daycare for the parents, so that way they can actually go to work. And so I should probably connect some more paths over here too. I'll put another one back this way, and we'll connect it over here. Let's see if we can connect here. Should be able to make it across there. We'll back it up a little bit. So one thing I've noticed about this game too, if the developer's watching, just a word of advice, it seems that when we're making roads, especially railroads, when you lay out a large piece of track or something like that and you ask for it to flatten the land, it just won't flatten it in front of the final piece. In other words, it seems that when we make a long railroad, if we were, for example, to right-click here, it seems like the very end of the railroad won't have its territory lowered, so you got to kind of make it shorter. It's kind of hard to explain, but anyway. Good thing we didn't place that there. It's just going to be highlighted green and red. Alright, well, better green than red, at least in our finances, and hopefully now we will have plenty of income. We also have a problem at the lumberyard over here. We're not being supplied with power, but that's okay for now. They've got plenty of logs there, and it shouldn't be too long until we see that. So our factory is up and running again. Our warehouse, I should say, and our factory here is running, though there's pretty much nobody here because we have no crops yet. But as you can see, all these fields, oh man, there's tons of fields. I'm going to make sure that we've got all of our fields connected here, and we'll make sure that not only are they connected, but also that they're being worked on. So I'm going to make sure every field has been assigned. I don't know if they have or not. Alright, looks like we're good. The only field we missed then was this one down here, I think was... Or what? Oh, here. This field here needs to be connected. Alright, so yeah, and this was a nightmare over here, getting some of these roadways and such to connect. As you can see here, the yellow means that you can modify it by right-clicking, but a lot of the times when you right-click, it doesn't seem to modify. In this game, it doesn't look like the game yet can process modifying existing roadways, so you can only like modify up to here, but the game is, it won't allow you to modify territory that's too close, that type of thing, so we'll try to get this road connected in the meantime. So as you can see here, it's green, but if we try to go up the hill, it won't. There you go. It can modify it a little bit, but it has to be away from the road. So I don't know, we'll have to... It seems to me that a truck should be able to get down here, though. It's not an incredibly large field, or hill. But anyway, that's why I did a lot of that off camera. Oh, there you go, some more modifications going in. See if we can flatten out this road even further. There we go, finally. Alright, that field should be connected now. Alright, so this should be 24/7 with tractors, harvesters, and trailers going back and forth picking up the crops. Glorious, absolutely glorious. We have another neighborhood ready to be built up here if needed, but we need some more industry in order to get those fully functioning. And I think what we can do is add to our logging industry in order to turn that into lumber. But I think it's going to be too expensive in order to buy logs from the west because we get an additional delivery cost, so we'll see how everything goes. But anyway, alright, it seems like we're back on track for having our glorious nation continue. I also have plans to possibly have the railroad go over this way around the farm field for when we build a town, perhaps out here somewhere. Lots of flat land, especially down by the river, and possibly connect to other sections in the west. But man, it is incredible how much space we've used and how much space there still is. I can't believe it. But it seems like the, really, I think the farm fields are about 3 or 4 times as large as our main city. I'm going to peek around here, make sure we've got some connections here for footpaths. Always a good idea to optimize footpaths because sometimes people just can't get to where they're going because they won't walk on the roads. If they can't walk on the roads, they won't. Let's see if we can actually make a roadway here. If you add the street lights, then that means that it adds a sidewalk, and so people can actually walk back and forth. So, for example, people from this side of the neighborhood can come over here to the kindergarten, where you can already see some kids playing along. So that's good. Alright, so we have a capacity for 75 workers times 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 buildings there that we've made. And then again, remember, man, all this stuff to support them is very labor intensive too. So in order to have a building with 75 workers, you'll need to have the grocery store, the kindergarten, and the actual school built as well. In fact, now that I think of it, that might be one thing that we're missing. Looks like we got a school over here, but we don't have enough workers yet working there. So let's try to build another apartment building here to support the school. And let's try to do... These ones seem to be the best. They take up the least amount of space, and they seem to... Actually, let's try to build it over here. They seem to be able to be built cheaply. I don't want to build another school. Well, if we build another school, it'll probably be down by these farm fields. But let's see if we can flatten out some land here. I definitely want to support our school infrastructure, and that way we can have more workers in the future. So let's try to build one right here. Excellent. And we'll have that apartment building support the school there. If we add some more workers to it, we'll be able to get some more teachers, and then in turn have some more children in the schools. Alright, we'll max that out then. And they should be able to start working at all the buildings and businesses around here. Especially the lumber mill up there, which apparently they're short on wood. And the train's immediately picking that up. Alright, so as soon as we've got food coming in, which shouldn't be too much longer, let's see if we've got... I think this field will probably be our first to go. Excellent, a big field, actually 2 big fields out in front of the food place here. Interesting, out in front of the farm and then right to the food factory. And then we have additional space for the school. Seems like the school, I think, for each teacher it can teach 10 children, I think? Maybe, or maybe it's 15, because it looked like with 3 there was 30. We're going to need a lot of those. We'll see how it goes, though. Hospital's doing really well. I don't think we need that many doctors and staff, so let's go ahead and decrease that to like 5 out of... Yeah, that should be a better number. Everybody else is going to have to find jobs at the school or something like that. Alright, let's see what else we've got. Just a few people working here. And we're going to start increasing our population a little bit as there's more businesses to be had. for example, like the kindergarten, another person working there, and those pack in quickly. Those kindergartens really fill up quick. Let's build another path here to shorten the way to the kindergarten. These footpaths are like the secret of the game. In order to build enough connections, these footpaths are critical. And that way people from the other side of the neighborhood can utilize the kindergarten here too if that one's too full or doesn't have enough workers, that type of thing. There you go. Alright, that should put more workers into the workforce. And we've already got a few workers here. I suppose we could fire up production. And I think what I'm going to do is, let's go ahead and start using some of our labor force. But first, let's purchase a new truck. And I'm going to purchase one of the coolest ones I like the most is this open hull one. I think this is going to be the most glorious for us, the covered hull, rather. This one right here, the KMZ 5410. So let's go, we're going to transport food directly from here to the warehouse and back. So, yep, alright, that should be good. And I'm just going to make sure he loads 100%, wait until fully loaded. Okay, well now that we've got some workers here, we may as well start producing some food. Soviet Union, what's that? Well, that's, don't worry about that. We're selling it to the West. Alright, so we've got about 9 workers here. It's going to be full up, hopefully hitting about 170 when we get there. Again, it's going to take about like 3 of these buildings just to get this building at like 75% capacity, and then these 2 buildings to support all their other needs. It's going to be crazy. Alright, we'll see how it goes. I think also if you have workers living near farm fields, it also speeds up the growth and harvest rate, I believe, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. It seems like every time we play this game, we discover a new secret every time. So I guess that's the sign of a good game. Or at least a unique one for certain. Okay, I think we should build some sidewalks here, too. I'm going to make the road curve around here. Although we have paths to the other side, I'm still going to, I still want to make some nice roads here. So that way our people can walk along the road with no problem. If they need to go somewhere. Into town, for example. And I think that's complete, I hope. Alright, if not, there we go. Hopefully our people can make it. Let's see if there's a sidewalk the whole way. Yep, looks pretty good. Looks like the sidewalk goes into town. Excellent, very good. Alright, now that we've got food production going, we want to fill up our warehouse as soon as possible. And that truck is just going to have to drive down here. We could have built the warehouse to attach to the food processing building, but the landscape really makes it difficult to do that. So let's go ahead and start building our... Oh, wait a minute. Are workers walking over here? Looks like people are walking into this part of the neighborhood. It looks like they're actually buying food, that's why. And then eventually we'll buy a truck to deliver specifically to our 2 grocery stores, so let's buy that. I think we want to... Actually, yeah, let's lower the number of people working there at the movie theater. Okay, let's go ahead and buy another truck specifically for transporting food to our grocery stores. And it can be a small capacity closed or covered haul. This one hauls 4 tons of crops. That's a lot. 1.2 tons. That's good. 3, 6. Anything around 4? I want something around 4. 5.6, 6. This one's haul... Wow, that hauls like 0.64. I just want maybe like a 2.5 or something like that. 2.5 ton. Oh, there it is. 2.5 tons of food. I was looking at crops. That'll be perfect. Okay. Alright, so we'll have this truck then deliver from the food factory to the grocery store, which is like literally down the street. We couldn't connect it to its actual warehouse, so that's fine. So it should go from the food factory to the second grocery store, food factory to the other one. So that should haul a little bit for us. Alright, the more workers, the faster these will make crops. So let's go ahead and get started by dumping in the workers. Bring them on, boys. Here we go. Food production, kicking it up. We're going to max out on everything here and see if we can sustain our people. And the interesting thing is, it seems like purchasing workers with rubles means that they're already ready to go, they're educated. But in the West, you have to educate them. So we'd have to have an educational system up and running first. So that's why we're spending rubles on a workforce here. And it looks like we've got ourselves a big number. Let's just go ahead and reduce a little bit there. How many at this? Yeah, I feel like we're going to have a big workforce here. Okay, so we've got 56 workers there. I'm going to go ahead and let these 2 work wherever they want. but I'm going to have these two work specifically at the food factory. So we should be dumping... Actually, I'm going to have all three. So we should have a full workforce here. So now I'm ordering them to only work at the food factory. So look at that. You can see workers are pouring in. Excellent. Look at that, boys. Food production is maxing out, and the truck is pulling away. Alright, so when we get up and running, the agro farm should be able to hold 112 tons of food, in addition to the 72 tons warehouse here. So we should have plenty of capacity. Ooh, look at that food fill up. Excellent. And the second truck is ready to start shipping. We can then stop buying from the west. At least food. We'll still purchase meat, because we'll need that. But we're going to go ahead and cut off our food purchases from the west. And also I'm going to stop buying with rubles too. Let's go ahead and make sure we only buy with dollars. Since we're trading for dollars already, it just makes sense. Okay. Was that a joke? Yes, it was. Wow. All right. Let's see. We'll switch that to dollars. All right. So hopefully our ruble trade, it's at 460. Hopefully. It seems to be going down continuously. I don't know what else we're renting from the Soviet Union. We've got power coming from the west. We've got food and electronics here coming from the west. So I don't know where else we're... Are we buying food? Yeah, crops from the west? I don't know. Oh, wow, that semi-truck is back again, loading up. He's got to only make a short trip, but he can only haul about 8 tons of food to the warehouse, which can then hold a total of 225. I hope these trucks, by the way, if they're on the railroad tracks, don't get hit. I think it's just an animation. Alright, and this area over here is completely out of power, but I think trucks are still running back and forth. Alright, the goal then is to try to make over $1 million. That's where we started with the west at $1 million. And I'm actually going to make a pathway here to make this a little bit more efficient for these people to walk up here. There we go. Alright, so it looks like people are going to play some foosball, and our worker force there will fluctuate throughout the day. Everybody seems to be working there. Let's see what the problems are for our workers. Let's see, kindergarten, 9 without a job. Well, there should be plenty of work there. I think it's because they don't find a kindergarten. But the kindergarten seems not full either. I think we do need to build a school, however. Even another one on this side to support the people at a closer range. I don't think they can walk over there. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it looks like they can walk to the school. Let's try these people. I bet they can. That's too far. They might be able to walk to the bus, however. Let's take a look here. Looks like they can reach the bus stop from here. But that would require them to take a bus here and then walk down there. I don't know if they can actually do that. I don't know if the game doesn't show if they can actually walk to the bus stop and then get on a bus and go here and then walk, for example, down past this building. Also, it doesn't seem like they can walk through areas. It seems like they only, if they leave here, I don't know if they can walk through. So I make a lot of extra paths that maybe I don't have to because I'm not certain. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. Ooh, look at that economy go, baby. Yeah. Alright, so we'll buy a train very soon. I think once we have a fully loaded train, that should be about $10,000 worth of food every time we make a delivery plus, I think. And let's see what we got for crops. Nothing yet, but harvesting should be starting very soon. At least on 2 fields. Looks like the rest are... Wow, look at that. They're still working. Now, at this point, it would probably be more efficient to have multiple farms here, but we would have to ship the crops and do different things, and it'd be a little longer. So I want to see how successful this is before we go on. We will need another school, though. Let's take a look at the workers' needs. Enjoy culture, get food. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Food is literally right there. Let's see, without a job, no school, participate in any sport. A lot of their needs are weird because it just seems like there's supply lines and such set up for people to go and do things, but sometimes they can't. Like, for example, these people here, pub or tavern. The pub or tavern is right here, which is within walking distance. It's 133 meters, this building here. So technically, these people, if you wanted to go to the bar, you just walk out onto this pathway, take the sidewalk up. Actually, there's no sidewalk there, so maybe that's the problem. But it seems like it's within walking distance. So hopefully, with this road upgrade, maybe they should be able to walk there now. I don't know. I hope so, though. And I hope those sidewalks on the main road help out. But a lot of these footpaths are shortcuts, so that should be good. Alright, well, the economy seems to be growing, at least. And when we get enough crops, I also want to open a distillery. But look at that, how many people have to work here just to do that. 17 children don't have a school to go to, so let's build one of those now. we can build yet another school on the other side of the street. And let's go ahead and build that here. And that should be the perfect place right about there. Well, it looks like the road connection just biffed on us. Alright, well, we're going to have to struggle now. Alright, we'll make a footpath connection. And again, this should allow the people then to walk from here to school. We'll make a few more connections. I like how the lumber mill is just kind of still hanging out. The logs and such that they've abandoned just sitting out in front of the school. We can't necessarily build over them. But the building was built too low, so now it's going to make a real nightmarish roadway. Alright, well, the wireframe makes it easier. The only problem is the game has a very large area where it does not want you to modify in front of the road, so sometimes you have to remove the road just to edit the land closest to it. You can see here I can't edit anything, so we're at the mercy of the game's logic. And technically these buildings don't have to be connected via road, but it just looks a lot nicer. And we'll leave it for now. I'll fiddle with it later. Okay, well, progress has been made. And here comes our truck again. Let's make sure food is being delivered to the grocery store. Plenty of food. 7.5 tons worth of food, in fact. We're making more food than we can actually eat. There's lots of shoppers coming through. Movie theater has a lot of people visiting. Looks like there's a lot of guests for the bar, or open spaces for the bar. And our food production is almost maxing out at 142. No grain yet delivered, but the harvest should begin very shortly. And we can purchase ourselves a train soon enough. I think we should be able to transport about 100 tons worth of food for the train. Alright, let's see. So we'll purchase a new train. It'll run up this way. We'll need to get our junction ready then, so that way we can effectively run our train back and forth. So we should want a junction here. Actually, let's see. We want one here. We don't want them stopping on the railroad tracks, do we? So we'll have to have one, I think we'll have to have one here. Okay. So I think that should work. So if a train comes through here, it should switch the... It'll stop the switch. I'm not sure exactly how this will work. We'll see. I'm going to have to trial and error that. Hopefully we have no errors. I'm wondering how the trains will function since some of their pathing, I don't know if it'll be waypointed to go to the junction or if it'll go to its destination and then obey the junction control or the semaphores in that case. Alright, farming is complete and harvesting has begun. One of our smaller fields getting harvested now, the medium fields. Beautiful, so now we'll see actual crops being delivered. That is glorious. So we'll be able to be self-sufficient off our own food. And look at our workforce go. Oh, look at that. They're producing a lot of food. We might need to buy another truck. Our trucks at the moment can only haul about 12 tons of food. So eventually they're going to become too full, especially with all the extra workers here. Some people saying they can't go to work because of the kindergarten, yet kindergarten capacity is not even anywhere near full. Interesting. But look at all the people go to work. That is awesome. Our food factory is just kicking butt now. And we're maxed out on food production. Alright, let's buy another truck. Buy another covered hull. And I think we'll still have to buy food from the west, but we can use this to supplement. In other words, we will still buy from the west until our production... Once our production surpasses 0, we won't buy from the west anymore. So anytime that there's gaps in our food supply or crop supply, the food factory will still function. And they are full right now, so they cannot do any more sort of production. And look at that, we have one truck running around town maxing out their food storage. That is incredible. I should have bought a little van. I didn't think we would actually have that much food. Stalin is jealous. You can hear him rolling in his mausoleum. All right, let's see. Maybe that's just Lenin. All right, another truck coming in. Okay. So we have $969 right now coming in. I'm going to go ahead and start buying from the west for auto-purchasing logs. We're going to buy a bunch of those. So we're going to buy a ton of logs now from the west in order to turn them into planks, and then eventually we can make money from that. Hopefully that makes a lot of money. We'll see. We'll see. But we've now actually have a decent workforce and a decent economy in order to make something happen here. One truck leaving, one truck coming back. 71 tons of food already there. Good. No crops yet, but trucks should be on their way soon. There it is. We got a truck full of crops coming back to the farm. And then they should be immediately transferred to the food factory. Actually, they won't be. They'll sit in the farm until that production reaches 0. But we can turn that off at any time. So we'll wait until we have 112 tons of food in storage, and then we'll switch it out for Raptorian production rather than the West. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so 79 tons right there. And our train should be loaded and ready to go. We'll have to buy another train soon. I wonder if we can buy Western trains. What are they like? Let's take a look. Oh, only cement. Oh, we can buy a C201 from the United States and a cement tank. Those are only diesel locomotives. So that's all we can buy from the West. Everything else is going to have to come from the Eastern Bloc or the Soviet Union. And alright, another beautiful day in our town. Let's take a look at production. 120, very nice. Alright, so this is kind of just us testing and making sure everything's working well. Seems like, seems like communism actually does work. Well, we'll see. Wow, look at this. We built this farm so far away, they've actually renamed it. And tractors are going. I think we have 4 tractors in total. I only see 3 working. So maybe those are just the last 3 fields to go. Excellent. Everything else is growing. I hope we've got all of our fields marked off. Wow, look at all those. There's no way to tell. I'll just have to make a... I'll have to make sure I click on every one of them. Oh, it looks like the crops are immediately used by the... They're being immediately used by the food factory. And of course, we're not going to make any money until this is fully loaded up. I think we can buy a train now and try to load it with 100 tons of food. Let's do that. Buying a new train now. I like the one we had before. The Czechoslovakian motor diesel. Or the diesel locomotive. Let's go for... let's see, boxcar 1166. 33 tons, 34 tons. What? Maximum speed 30, 30... 24 tons, 22 tons. This one's cheaper and lighter weight and holds more. Why would I not buy this one? I will load it up with 3 cars. Now, before we send that train out, I want to make sure the other train's not running. Okay, it looks like it left. Oh, here it comes. There it goes. Okay, so we want it to go to the food factory. Or the warehouse for the food, and then back to the customs office. And make sure you load up 100% with food. A little inefficient at the moment because I'm not using a multi-purpose train station, but again, these will expand eventually. We'll have the train drop by here, and we'll load other things into the boxcar. We can also bring liquor here, so we can actually build another... we can build like a distillery here and use the rest of the workforce to load both liquor and food onto the trains, which can both be supplied by the giant farm fields that we have. So we've got some money to be made. Train is offloading. Let's go ahead and see if we can have our train run now. I don't know if they can... I don't know if there's a possibility for train accidents. Let's just see if they are not smart enough to go. We'll see. Oh, look at that. They'll actually move without junction. So you will need to control them. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble. Don't worry, that train won't offload for quite some time, so we're good. We'll just sneak it by. We don't really have much of a railroad anyway. It's like a kind of a one-way logical thing. You don't have to have too much control over it. Plus, we're trying to save money. Safety, lol. Raptor, you're doing that wrong. Oh, hello, capitalist, with the S word, safety. Safety also means money. One's more important than the other right now. Alright, so that goes this way, and that should open up. Boom. Yep, there it did. Alright. Interesting. I'll make some other what do you call them? Junction bypass lanes and other things later when we have more money. But right now we just need to make sure it works for all the experiments we've done. Glad we didn't have to build another tunnel. This last time we built a tunnel here just because it was like, well, that ain't gonna happen. But now that we've got the pathing tool, that's made everything so much easier. Looks like 132 tons of food already ready to go. Train should be able to hold about a hundo. Let's see. About 102 tons of food. Alright. So just over 100 tons of food. Takes a minute or two to load. Boy, does that load quickly. Let's see what our income will be in dollars. So we've blown about $50,000 so far on supplies and materials that we've been purchasing from the West. Our train right now, ooh, this thing's going to get about $20,000 in it. Pretty close. And of course, food prices and such will fluctuate, so who knows? We might end up making more or possibly less. But that's why we're also going to try to do alcohol. On the other hand, and it can load anything in these boxcars. So alcohol is something that it can haul at any time. Alright, the train's coming back. Our train is going to make its way up the hill. That's $17,000 inside that train, so that's great. And this train, I don't know how much the other one can make, but we'll see. So it looks like we're not making enough food yet to produce everything. Wow, look at that. We've dropped from 100 and something workers down to like 50 something workers. 9 people without a job. That boggles my mind. I don't understand sometimes. People not able to enjoy culture. I think that just means they can't get to the movie theater. I don't know. Do they need a Stalin statue or something, or Lenin? I don't know if that counts as culture. I suppose we'll put it over here. Maybe we can put it up on the hill. I have no idea. Oh, wow, this thing's going to take a huge amount of space. Oh, there we go. Well, this is a high traffic area. So let's go ahead and put that there. Hopefully that counts as culture. I have no idea. Go look at a statue, I guess. I have no idea. It's not very clear on that. Looks like food production is starting to get wiped out by the decrease of workers. 53 not able to visit a church or place of spirituality. Again, we can't build that at the moment. Visit the hospital. It's right across the street, bro. There's 2 doctors there, so that's not too bad. And lots of teachers over here. Good. Oh, good. It looks like we got a lot of kids in school, so that'll add to the workforce eventually. Very good. So that is definitely going to be a positive thing. 57 tons of food. Train 1. Uh-oh. Alright, that's going to be a problem. We're going to have to turn this train around. So I'm going to have to delete that semaphore. Luckily, we can just pull the 180 on our train. No, he's got a green light to proceed. You shouldn't have a green light to proceed like that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, we're going to have to redesign that. I had it fine before. We'll have to make sure I change that. Okay, so they definitely run the risk of running into each other. I definitely don't want that. You know, it'd be nice, too, is if we could get the... what I should probably do to be more profitable is... well, this train will have to run the full time now because we're going to have tons of logs and lumber loading up there. Alright, go ahead, train. You should be fine now. Alright, I know how to correct that. We'll get to that later. That should be fine. But we are at 952, so that does mean money's increasing. And so is our workforce over here. Should be lots of crops coming in. Look at that. Everybody's working. And look at that. 25 tons of crops in storage over here. So as soon as we get maxed out, we'll be good to go. In fact, let's make a full purchase from the west. and then we'll cut it off, and then we'll start using our supplies over here. So I'm going to make a full purchase. 7 out of 20 here. Absolutely gorgeous. Things are really starting to function well. Excellent. Okay, well, we've got all of our farms working. The food factory seems to be working. We're making quite a bit of food, though I want to have more workers there. And our farm is going to be having reserves very soon. Oh, excellent. The lumber train is just hauling back and forth now. You can see the number kind of staying steady as we're purchasing food and whatnot. It's good to see that number kind of staying somewhat in the same spot. I love how the grocery stores really don't even need a delivery. They barely need food. Well, it looks like the system of food is, we are now going to be self-reliant on our own food, so we will be able to feed our people no problem. Everything else can go towards food production in the West, and then we can start making a distillery as well, which should bring in some extra cash. Let's see where we might be able to fit that. And we'll need some more workers for that, but we got plenty of space around here to build houses. If we do build a distillery, we'll have to make use of the crops, so we can bring that close to the farm. Oh, we can build it right over here. Perfect. And then we should be able to build some more homes here along this way, and that should be able to supply the distillery. And I'm wondering if we could maybe we could have crops delivered here. We'll have to find out a way. Eventually we'll get rid of the lumber site. May as well get rid of it now. Just try to supply everything else. We'll fix all of our problems with the lumber mill and such later, because this one's not even being supplied with electricity, and it just slows down production. But we are creating tons of logs, or making logs into boards, and they're going right into here and getting taken away by the train every time. And the train here is probably almost loaded. Yep, 97 tons. Very good. All right, well, we've made a somewhat of a stable economy in U.S. dollars. Now we'll have to focus on making an economy that is actually profitable, and then we'll start facing our way towards the Soviets sometime soon. All right, let's see if anybody's unhappy here. Looks like everybody's totally happy. No problems here whatsoever. This should just be a thing that says delete problem, and that's all you got to do. All right. I want to just see this train drive off. And there she goes. And this train will load off pretty quickly. Yep, junctions are green, that's correct. Though this one will have to change. So I'll make the corrections to that and we'll get everything working very soon. Alright, well, we've made some excellent improvements. Thank you very much for tuning in today for more Soviet Republic Workers and Resources. Soviet Republic, to be precise. I'll return with more, so hopefully our quick saves have worked, and hopefully our plan to make more money works as well. We'll get everything organized in the next episode to be more profitable, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks as always for your support. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.